If you haven't watched the previous videos, please watch them first, and then watch this video again. The largest Buddhist temples in Nepal and the holiest Buddhist temples are located outside of Tibet. The center of Tibetan culture here is in Kathmandu and is based on Buddhist symbols. This temple is situated in the eastern outskirts of the city, Kathmandu. The temples were probably built in the 14th century, after the arrival of thousands of Tibetans and the Chinese in the year 1959. This temple is one of the most important centers became Buddhism. The statues above which resemble a mandala, an Indian sacred structure from the Buddhist religion, are great. The 4 Buddhas of the day mark the 4 main directions and are shown in the picture of the Buddha in the center, with his eyes visible on the black and white background. These 5 Buddhas are also related to the 5 elements, i.e. earth, water, fire, air, and the element heavenly air. Symbolic numbers are also seen in the same time. 9 class of Stupa is a symbol of the legendary mountain Meru in the center of galaxies. 13 rings that start from the earth are a symbol of ways of release and achieving spirituality. The name of the stepper of Bud is also taken from the same ways. At the bottom, there is a 16-faced wall with a variety of paintings. In addition, 109 Buddha forms are also depicted in sculptures around it. A core of this ritual is also carved on the wheels of prayer, which will emerge alongside the images of Buddha. The base of the stupa has 3 large platforms that rise in decreasing order of size. These platforms symbolize the earth, and here you can look out over the majestic mountain while listening to prayers and chants. Here you will see many worshippers walking around the stupa and praying. The springs that are on the squared tower above the stupa are a question mark, which is the same dot symbol of Nepali. This number is a symbol of unity, and the only way to achieve Ruhani, which is possible through Buddha teachings. At the top of these eyes, there is a 3rd eye that reflects the wisdom of Buddha. This square tower leads to a pyramid that 13 steps lead to a symbol of the stairs. You must take off your shoes to enter this area. The form of triangle is the abstract symbol of the fire and is also a golden shadow at the top of the tower. The flags of prayer connected to the tip of the stupa and shake in the wind contain parentes and prayers. The main entrance to the upper platform of the Buddhist stupa is on the north side. Here you see a picture of the future budget. There are streets and streets around the streets and streets, full of small and colorful houses, Tibetan Buddhist monasteries, and street vendors. If you enjoy my Nepal travelogue, be sure to subscribe to my channel and give me energy with your likes and comments. Here too, there were temples for worship, some of which were prohibited from filming. In front of the Buddhanath stupa, there was a free bird area where you could sprinkle seeds for them, and it had become a space for photography and filming. Opposite the Buddhanath stupa was a school and temple for teaching Buddhas and worshipping, which I will introduce in more detail in future videos. In the same location, opposite the Buddhanath stupa, there was a restaurant where we went for lunch. We ordered a local and famous dish called momo. It was doughy on top and filled with meat and vegetables. The food tasted quite delicious. On the balcony next to the restaurant was a woman with candles in a bowl, which we later saw in abundance in other temples. One of the souvenirs of Nepal, kukri knives, with their unique design and many uses, are one of the most iconic souvenirs of Nepal. These knives, with a curved blade, that has been used in Nepal for centuries, kukris were used as multi-purpose tools for cutting, digging, and even weapons. And today they are still recognized as a symbol of Nepal's rich history and culture. I will explain in detail about Thangka paintings, which are at the top of Nepal's souvenirs later. One of the most interesting things about Nepal was the state of the electrical wiring, which was really interesting given the amount of clutter. We went to Pashupatinath temple to see the Nepali cremation ritual. Pashupatinath temple is a prominent religious symbol of Hinduism in Nepal and is dedicated to the god Shiva. The legacy of Pashupatinath began several centuries before the temple was built. Pashupatinath Temple in Nepal is one of 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the Kathmandu Valley, the capital of Nepal, and overlooks a stunning stretch of the Bagmati River. According to mythology, God sometimes took the form of animals, birds, or humans to escape their cosmic duties and enjoy life on Earth. In one instance, the god Shiva and goddess Parvati came to Earth in the form of deer. They landed in the forested regions of Nepal and were captivated by the splendor of the land.
Shiva, the Ganesha, and the Kumar. That's the 2 sons of the Shiva.
When they reached the banks of the Bagmati River, they decided to stay there forever. When the other gods and goddesses decided to return them to their cosmic work, Shiva refused to come. The gods had no choice but to use force to return them. A war ensued, and Shiva, who had transformed into a deer, lost one of his horns in the terrible struggle. This horn was the first symbol, called a lingam, worshipped at Pashupatinath. It is believed that the symbol was taken back by Mother Earth until one day, Kamadenu, a god in the form of a cow, came to Earth. He irrigated the surrounding soil with his milk and found it again. The locals recovered the symbol and built a wooden temple, which is the present-day Pashupatinath temple. One of the ceremonies held in this temple and near this river is cremation. The body has no value. Nothing inside the body is valuable, so we burn it, is the Hindu belief. Cremation in Nepal dates back centuries. Arya Ghat, where the crematorium is located on the Bagmati River, is the largest cremation site in Nepal. The temple consists of 6 elevated platforms on the banks of the Bagmati River outside the Pashupatinath temple in Kathmandu. The 2 temples closest to the temple are for royalty and nobility, while the rest are for ordinary citizens. They're giving us a tika, red dot here. Hindus believe that a Hindu cremated at Pashupatinath temple will be reborn as a human in their next birth. Women are not allowed to participate in cremation ceremonies in Nepal, and the entire cremation process takes 5 hours for women and 4 hours for men to become. Ashes and the ashes join the Bagmati River, which eventually flows into the Ganges River in India. You will be surprised by the absence of any smell that accompanies the dead. Bodies. Purification with holy camphor and other substances probably does the trick. The temple embodies an ancient Hindu concept that death should not be feared, and sex should not be mocked. As a result, there is a cremation ground near the temple, and a special ritual for cremation. There are also sensory artworks on the temple ceiling. According to my observation, they bathe the dead in the river, purify them with incense, and after saying goodbye, they take them to a place where all the relatives gather and the body is cremated. the type of wood used to cremate the dead. Depends on the financial circumstances of the deceased. After the body is reduced to ashes, they throw it into the river. There is a very strange and unpleasant smell here. This person is a Nepalese Ramal. You see monkeys in many places in this country. One of the interesting souvenirs here is fossils and wooden seals. Next to every landmark, you will find local markets selling a variety of souvenirs from the region. In the evening, we return to the Tamil Nadu district, the center of Nepal's tourism industry. Despite its narrow, busy streets, it is a paradise for tourists who are keen on shopping due to the variety of products it offers at low prices. The Tamil shops are suitable for buying all kinds of souvenirs and handicrafts, as well as mountaineering equipment. Thangka paintings are at the top of the list of Nepalese souvenirs and are one of the country's most valuable and iconic works of art. They are usually painted on silk or linen fabrics, and their subjects are often religious, spiritual, and related to Nepal's nature, depictions of Buddha, goddesses, temples, and natural landscapes of the country, mandalas, etc. One of the parts of tourism is local food. We tried a very spicy local dish called banapur. We took a tour of this old neighborhood, saw a barbecue and a butcher shop, which was very interesting. The supermarket here was also very special and spectacular. This was the bakery section, which was more normal. We also went to a candy store.
One is Balusahi.
Balusahi?
Yeah, Kala Jamun.
Kala jamun?
Gulab Jamun.
Gulab jamun?
Another one is Kesarvati. Cham Cham.
Cham cham.
We chose and ate two of the most famous sweets here. It was very sweet but delicious. And I also tried the ice cream here. It didn't taste any different from normal ice cream. Kathmandu's Tamil neighborhood is full of shops, restaurants, and local stalls. The interesting thing about the food here was the lack of hygiene. The stores had reasonable prices, and the area was very safe. I would be happy if you would join me, subscribe, and continue the travelogue in the next video.